Hello, welcome to Talk Together, and thank you everyone for joining us for an evening of, I would say, talking about Dungeons and Dragons, and that is the plan, but also given who our guest is tonight, we'll probably end up talking about anything but. Wish me luck. I am Rebecca Hare. I will be your host tonight, and I am chatting to the inestimable Tom Jancis, who you can see here. Although, Tom, tell me, is it Jancis or Jancis? Because we, without you here on a different stream, got into an argument about it.
Yes.
Do you have a preference?
That's the thing. So, officially it would be Jancis, but
I was wrong.
No, but I do say Jancis just to kind of. It's one of those things that people can never. It's 6 letters, but people like Janakis. Someone just called me Janet once, and I was like, sure. And I think it's because. And it's kind of annoys people where I'm just like, yep, whatever you want to call me, I'll go with it. So yes, I think I could even go, well, professionally, I'm Jancis, but if I was in my real life, I'd be Jancis. So it'd be like, what do you use? So yes, that in answer to your question, yes.
I am here with the bizarrely ambiguously named Tom Jancis, who you can see here, and we will be going through probably not very many questions and an enormous number of tangents. Tom, please why are you here?
I don't know. I signed a contract at a crossroads, and now look, I'm having to play like a stag man. It's very strange.
You brought that on yourself. Do not pretend that any demonic influence forced you to do that.
I just stand at haunted places going, yoo-hoo, hello. It's like Constantine, where I've ended up signing like 4 different contracts, and they're like, they can't all be right. You're like, well, we'll see what happens.
But somehow all of them end up with you having a dead spouse.
I have been married so many times, and they have died so many. The contract was in
game. I presume.
Yes. Again, I just haunted. Yes. So that's what I do here. Sad backstories and crazy lore that just comes out of nowhere. You're like, we're going on an adventure. By the way, I have 70 laws that I follow in my daily life. Sweet Zeleny. Apart from that, work in immersive theatre, which I think we talked about with Chris. Just come back from rehearsing my show, which is all about circus history. So that was the sort of funny thing about it. I was like, you realise I just played an undead clown in something? And then my partner was like, great, we're not putting clowns in the show. I'm like, I feel I've got the clowns out of my system now. Yes. Apart from that, occasionally I'm on the other side of this screen, and that's very exciting, and everything runs exactly to time, like the trains. Everything happens, and I get a lovely badge, and the glare. There's the glare. Hello.
Yes, you king of waffling.
Absolutely.
I decided to claim my badge because an entire cast of Warriors of Waterdeep waffled at me, and so you just took my badge from me.
Yeah. It's not fair, is it? Those gosh darn warriors.
It's a good thing, Tom, that I don't hold a grudge, because otherwise I'd have a stopwatch running right now and I would shut you down mid-sentence so I can keep to time. But obviously I won't do that. That would be rude.
That would be so rude.
I'm lovely. We are delighted to be sponsored by Hero Forge, Ultra Pro, Phoenix Dice, and Alchemy RPG, and also to be supported by Idle Champions, Warriors of Waterdeep, Neverwinter, D&D Beyond, and Elderwood Academy. We are Roll Together RPG on all social media, and as always, a huge thank you to our beautiful D20 Club, our dice heads on Patreon. Our shows are available as podcasts. Just search Roll Together RPG on your favorite podcasting app. We have a fan-run Discord, which we're both on and we very much enjoy hanging out on, so come say hi. And there is a ridiculously brilliant fan-run wiki that tells us, it helps us remember all the various poppets Tom has created. Essentially, it's a very useful resource, so do go check it out. As mentioned, this stream will run for precisely 1 hour, and I will reclaim my timekeeping badge by the end.
That is on the wiki. There is a section where they're talking about the timekeeping, where Rebecca is at the top.
I'm not, because Emma and Niall have done 1 each. So they're like their maximum time overrun is shorter than mine because they've only ever done one and I've done many.
Statistics.
But yes, theoretically, I am the top. The badge will be mine by the end of tonight. Not that I'm a competitive person or that any of this matters at all. We're just here to have a good time, right, Tom?
Oh, absolutely. Sort of.
It's not like I got you on as a guest again really recently after you were talking to Chris, simply because you're the only person I can be so rude to that we will absolutely finish on time.
I have the mentality of a large dog, where you're just like, he can just take anything. I'm like, yeah, this is great. We're having fun. You want to put a hat on me? I'm wearing a hat now. Yay. See,
normally that would make me go, oh, that's really quite, sweet and pathetic. I maybe shouldn't be mean to him, but no. I am immune to your poppets, she said. And I have a badge to win, so give
it some time. Let's see if we can get an honest poppet before we. What do we think?
Because I think I coined your poppet, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember which character it was. It was one of the many.
Oh, it's going back. Was it Zeleny? Was it Pip?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It was the old poppet. Well, I'm proud to have such a legacy. Maybe you should just create a character called the Poppet, and we'll go from there.
As simple as that, sort of like, I guess, like, if you're a Time Lord, you could be like, I'm the Doctor, I'm the meddling monk. I was just like, I'm just the Poppet.
That would be endearing and so disconcerting. Never do that. That sounds awful.
I won't.
Right.
Stares at camera.
Tom,
yes,
I would roll a dice, but you have been answering so many of these questions. I think just to kind of keep the facade of us being professionals doing what we're meant to be doing, I'm going to roll a dice and we'll have a question.
Absolutely.
And we'll see where it goes from there. I think I have a choice of 4 or 5 remaining, so we'll see if my dice has actually rolled a number that has not yet come up in the interviews. Thank you very much, my D20. And I think it's a really hard one.
Crumbs.
It is an 11, which is, Tom, who is your favourite character?
My boys, my sons, and to a lesser extent, my daughters. Oh, choices.
Because your daughters are lesser, or?
No, I'm saying I've had more sons than I've had daughters. Also, yes, we might get to this later, but patriarchy!
Woo!
Hooray! Clip that. Or make an emoji of it, just like, yay, patriarchy. No, they're all my sons. As I said, Pip, I have a lot of affection for. As much as I like Ilix, I think Pip's where I started really getting into, this is the kind of character I want to play, and that just, the fun of just, yeah, okay, you're a terrifying monster, but you're actually really sweet, and just, I was trying to show sort of the stuff, and so I put the clip up with me and Shamini going into the bakery, and Ogden just knocking things over, and I'm like, he's sorry, we're gonna pay for that. Just those beautiful moments. Again, Wilby. I loved Wilby. I'm glad Wilby hopefully might get some closure now, because if you're talking about the level of poppetry, starts off really sweet. Oh no, he lost his entire family. Flash forward 2 episodes. He's lost his eye. He's lost everyone. The world's ending. And Chris Berry was willing to just leave me in the belly of a Tarrasque until I turned out I could fly.
Losing an eye feels to be a bit of a motif for your poppet.
Yes. I don't know why. I wonder if there's a personal thing where I'm like, that would be really scary and so easily to do, really. So gulpy. So look. And
it's taken less than 10 minutes. I'm officially spooked. Thank you.
Yay!
Yay!
What is it? What's it? There was a show which is based on the Bernard Cornwell books, where it's about King Alfred, and I think it's The Last Saxon or something. But there's a thing with one of the villains where the villain's done really terrible things, but is the son of one of the chiefs, and the head chief's I can't kill you, that's not fair, that would cause problems, but I can do this, and he picks up a dagger, turns it around, and just cracks him in the eye and takes his eye out. And I think after that I was like, oh no, that's my fear. Oh no, someone could just knock my eye out. I don't see, yeah, that reaction where it's just like, also, it gives you a chance to wear a cool eye patch, and that's always an aesthetical choice, you know.
I now want to know what you think of King Lear.
Gouging. That's... Again, think about productions I've seen where it's just like, oh no,
Really?
Oh no.
I have seen some very good and some very bad productions of Lear, but infallibly, I cannot stop myself laughing when they take out Gloucester's eyes. Not because I'm a psychopath, but because no matter how dramatically and tragically and well it is done, they then go, out, vile jelly. There is no way. The best Shakespearean actor cannot make that line anything but hilarious.
It's similar, like in the Scottish play when
Macbeth.
Why is that on fire? Technically, we're not in a theatre, but we're in the theatre of the mind.
Superstition is only if you're in a theatre that is currently running Macbeth. You're allowed to say the name of the play.
Okay, fine. In Macbeth.
Thank you.
I just watched as my finger falls off. I'm like, oh no.
A dagger hits your eye.
Oh no, it's the one thing we didn't want to happen. When Macduff finds out about the murder of his family, and he just keeps saying, what? All my chickens slain? And you're like, I've got a lot of sympathy for you, but please stop calling your family chickens.
If the line was children, it would be heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's the same as when they murder the children. It's something like young egg, they call him. And It's like, this would be deeply traumatic and violent if you weren't calling that child an egg.
And I think the child also says, oh mother, I am slain.
Yes,
and you're like,
does.
no, that's happened. That's just... Yeah, went to do some assassination, just called a child an egg, you know, which makes sense about them being a chicken, you know, just...
Oh, no. Yes.
It's a strange show. Like, again, I saw the Saoirse Ronan played Lady Macbeth, and she was very good. And again, they flooded the stage, and so she was rolling around in water. But it's that sort of thing where they were just like, oh, we've got a lot of water. Or just drown Lady Macduff in like a washing tub. And you're just like,
that's nice.
Yeah. And also, like, again, I just talk about Shakespeare, just that sort of weird thing about going, so you're going to come fight for me. Let me tell you about one awful king I would be. And then when he's like, Macduff's like, oh God, you're terrible. He's like, that was a test.
I really love that scene. I've read lots of critics being like, it should be cut. It's the worst scene in the world. I love it.
It keeps going, which is great. Where he's like, I'm going to do all sins known to man. And then Macduff's like, oh, poor country. I'll leave. He's like, no, come back. I was joking. I'm actually going to be a really good king.
It's fine. Why are you crying? Why are you... Stop crying.
It's not like something terrible has happened. By the way, all your chickens are slain. See?
But be a man. Why are you crying about your dead wife and children? There'll be a time for crying. The way to manfully express your emotions is to murder people.
Go dress up as a tree. How about that? How about you work through it by being... So yes, that's our tight 10 about Macbeth. Shortest the Shakespeare plays. But
there are so many tangents I want us to go on. I think I'm going to pick, given it's come up a couple of times, healthy gender roles.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
So yes, obviously your daughters are lesser than your sons. And
of course, they can't own land. So. And
obviously the really healthy way for men to grieve is to not grieve, but murder people.
By being a tree, yes.
You may wonder, Twitch chat, what this has to do with D&D, but our slightly bizarre one-shot that we did for Warriors of Waterdeep has dropped on YouTube a couple of weeks ago. It is delightful. You should maybe check it out. But as with all of the Warriors streams that we have done at Roll Together, no one is playing their own gender. So I was playing Elcharn, the dashing rogue barbarian hunk of a man with diamond teeth. And Tom, who were you playing?
I was playing Cielaro, the beautiful, and that's the thing. It's like, yay, what adjective do you want to use for this complex character? Beautiful. Heiress to a...
Are you sure she was... Elcharn was not complex.
I mean, I had the possibility of gaining depth on my Hollybob to the Underdark, and that was complex. It constantly was, I don't want you to die. Leave Me Behind, where both of us just were like, no, we're not leaving each other. We're in this together. Yeah, okay, maybe not complex, but the possibility, had we not been consumed by, well, you got beaten up by some bugs and I got bitten by a vampire, so...
Maybe a little.
Just a smidge.
You'd been a vampire for an entire 3 minutes before you went like, leave me behind or just kill me. It was quick.
Yeah, sort of... I don't know. It's sort of like those sort of things where you're like, okay, so this is the choice the character's making. It's like, wow, she really doesn't want to be a vampire. Even though we have established there was a very exciting play, which was very romantic, between a vampire and a werewolf.
Biters and growlies?
Biters and growlies, I think it was, yeah.
Let's not examine that too deeply.
I mean, we could. We've got 40 minutes.
We have 43 and a half minutes.
You say potato, I say bites and growlies.
But I very much enjoyed getting to play a swaggering, aristocratic, toxically masculine simpleton.
Huh.
And you very much enjoyed just portraying my actual life in terms of...
Yes, the number of times you're like, oh, no. Oh, the patronising... Yeah. Yes, this is sort of. It's a lot of. How did we know where it was? I went and talked to one of Daddy's friends and just nodded. And I was like, "Oh, you work with sheep? Very nice, very interesting, very interesting." Been to the Underdark? Is that? Yeah.
Yes, and it's when they put your hand their hand on your knee that your smile becomes a little tighter. And I sat there going, Thanks, Tom.
I've known you since you were a little girl. Yes, great. Yeah, even that, just sort of... Yeah, let's say I have seen things from a distance and talking to people where I'm just like, hey, I've got this in, I say, my repertoire, where I'm just like, cool, very simple, very horrible things. Patriarchy. Back to earlier, hooray for patriarchy. I'm playing life on easy mode.
I really enjoyed that. Yeah. I did. Yeah, you do have. I know you were talking to Chris about how your gift for puppeting comes from your very good grasp of the tragic. But I did really enjoy in Warriors that, this is Cielaro and Elcharn are buffoons. This is comic. It is a foregone conclusion. It is fine. And you were still like, cool, I'm going to take this just really horrible slice of the way the world is and then just slide it in. Which,
I think they had they had some expectations of trying to make the world better. They didn't know what they were going to do, but it's just a smidge of, as we said, it was, is it fair that people don't have food? No. Do we know any way of dealing with that ourselves? No. Would it be a case of us just going to talk to a revolutionary, working out what he was going to do, and then we might do it? But just... Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why. I also just love, again, watching the mainstream where we're like, we've created this, what very intense and quite tragically romantic thing. And Ed's just going to kill some vampires. That's just it. I was sitting there watching it and just like, oh, and Niall dragging your comatose body around.
No, I was like, what are you doing? Don't rescue Elcharn. He doesn't want to live without... Oh, no, he's dead. Niall's just dragging my corpse around. Okay.
He just died of sadness. His heart just... Again, Shakespearean. It's like, what happened? He's like, he just got so sad he died. It just happened. Yeah.
But then again, he came back as a white just because Cielaro loved him enough. So it's very Shakespearean. I particularly enjoy getting to play an absolute rich capitalist. The idea of we could make this better by just, redistributing the finances. No, we will go on an exciting adventure to the Underdark.
Yeah, I mean, could we make affordable housing? I suppose so. Or we could put chips in the brains of monkeys, and that's help. No, exactly. We're perfectly within our power, and maybe that is an issue in the world of D&D where you're like, no, there's actual things you could do. You're like, interesting. I'm going to go fight a dragon because that's exciting and I want to do that. Okay. I suppose that's the problem. Like when you get an adventurer who's like at that level, he's like, cool, you're basically a landlord now. You're running a shop. Okay, cool. Has people got places to live? Is there enough? I mean, because it's pointed out, like, because the fact I keep bringing up is that a gold piece is worth 1 goat. That's the exchange rate.
Good to know.
And then if you're thinking about like the adventurers, you know, who are like, oh, you know, this is like 200 gold pieces for this. And you're like, why doesn't everyone just go become an adventurer? Because that seems to be the only way to make money, where you turn up and you're like, oh, I'd quite like a new coat. Interesting, that's 200 goats.
You make a very good point. I'm increasingly relieved that obviously we all have a duty to not be imperialist, racist, sexist, homophobic assholes when we play D&D, but we don't have to also invest our taxes wisely and set up land reform.
Look, well, that's the next change.
No, we are still allowed to go slay some dragons rather than like forming a subcommittee to address like the town sanitation. That's a different game, I think.
We're pro-union as well. Come in and it's like, actually, you're stealing jobs. You're scabs. You're stealing jobs from the Adventurers Guild. So, if you could stop fighting the kobolds, that would be much appreciated.
But yeah, Cielaro and Elcharn draw the line at, we give our cleaner a very nice muffin basket at,
Absolutely.
The Winter Festival. We don't know her name, and we do not pay her a living wage. But we tell her hair looks nice.
I mean, because she's very good with whatever she does with it. I mean, obviously she can't afford to go to the big salons like us, but
of course not.
She does the best with what she has. She's almost like part of the family, but like a fourth cousin who you don't actually know the name of. I also realised that at the end, it cut off with credits. We don't mention that my father spent the rest of his life waiting for me to come home with my dog.
No.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And then he saw like, as it was ending, I was like, he just saw like, there's a portrait of Cielaro, and he's like, good night, my dear. And then picks up the little dog. He's like, come on, it's time for bed.
Do you remember the name of our dog?
If I don't remember the name of our cleaner.
Oh, we remember the name of the dog. That's very different.
Yeah. What did we call the dog?
Knickerbocker Glory.
Knickerbocker Glory.
The Pomeranian.
Oh, my sweet. Literally my sweet. Oh. That dog's dead. Not just...
Take Knickerbocker Glory into the Underdark. I mean, it is dead because it got eaten by a dragon.
Yes.
But...
I think that's the thing.
So is your father.
Well, sort of... Or was my father one of those people who was like, I've got an escape route. I'm very rich.
He does have a panic bunker and just stayed there waiting for the Warriors of Waterdeep. Your book club probably all died.
Oh yeah, yes. No, they're useless. I'm worried that like a bookcase fell over the door for my father's panic room and he just got trapped down there, and it's just like trapped with his gold. That's the thing. He's trapped in the vault with all his money, and you're like, well, you can't eat that. So yeah, the Warriors could have found like a dead was he an Asthma or was my mother the Asthma? Anyway, sort of like just a man down there surrounded with jewels. You're like, you would have been so rich.
So what we're saying is the Elcharn and Cielaro one-shot is full of no trauma, no commentary on capitalism or patriarchy, no poppeting, and no slightly despicable two rich people with no knowledge of the real world. And you should definitely go and watch it.
I mean, they cared for each other. That's nice. In a horrible world, they stuck by each other.
I don't think Elcharn realised how much he loved Cielaro until she was like, leave me. And he was like, I'm obviously not going to. I think up until that point, he'd be like, well, it's every man for himself a little. She's very capable, but, to be real, there are other beautiful women. And then scumbags. Every time I play a male character, he is a scumbag.
It's an easy.
Can't help it.
Yeah.
Actually, we have a one-shot that you DM'd that is coming out at some point in the future where I played a male character who was not a scumbag. He was pitiful. Because
you're a poppet.
I did go peak poppet.
Yeah. Where I get to a minus one, I get to say the lines, you still don't have any trousers on.
Yeah.
Yes, that one shot is coming up at a point, and was utterly delightful. I think it's probably one of the silliest things that we've put out.
Impressive as there is competition.
Yes. And it's only in the second half where I'm like, I probably should have some plot. We can do a lot of character stuff. Yeah.
Everyone who's ever seen Tom be interview, or play, or DM will, I'm sure, be aware of the fact that this was an incredibly precise, tightly honed, militantly driven one shot where everything happened down to the second.
Absolutely. The character voices stayed consistent. We didn't lose anything. I didn't get anyone's name wrong.
We didn't spend literally the first half faffing about.
I mean, it was excellent character stuff.
It was so delightful. I am not complaining. It was perfection.
I love every one of those players. I love every one of those characters. Just
it was wonderful. I have not laughed that hard on stream for an incredibly long time.
Again, like when you do finally see it, where you could just see me just going, cool, there's this NPC now, I'm doing a voice, and then the players go, cool, we love them. I'm like, okay, main plot then. Just I realise we're being vague, but it's
yes, let's be vague about another one shot.
Yes.
There's a one shot coming on Monday.
Yes, next
Monday. Which is also going to be quite a rival for the silliest thing we've ever put out.
Well, I think you could argue it's probably the filthiest thing we've ever put out. Yes, it's the Great Feywild Bake Off. And DMing, Return of Pip, Return of Gertie.
Amazing.
Yeah. There is a Bake Off, and the contestants have disappeared, so Gertie has gone undercover. Pip has also entered the Bake Off. Well, not Pip, Nutmeg.
Oh,
so there's delight where Emma was like, sorry, why is there a deer in the kitchen? Because she's a chef. Cool, can she open the oven? She absolutely can't. I think one of my favourite things with Em is the relationship with Nutmeg. And those of you who listen to the podcast miss out on Em face acting with Nutmeg. It's a lot of big eyes and then sort of like... but that's the great thing. I'm like, well, do you want this? And Em going... like, okay, you're gonna have some salad then. It's delightful. It's it's all good fun, and then we don't so much go off the rails as just shoot off into filthy space.
I don't understand, Tom. I don't understand how one shot with you and Chris and who are the other players?
So we have Lola, and we have V, and we have Chrissy.
I don't understand how that group at all could shoot anything filthy, especially when it's Bake Off themed. There's absolutely nothing remotely filthy you can do with Bake Off.
This is a good, pure episode.
You're saying this is the one you should let your children watch because
absolutely.
It's baking.
Yeah, no. And actually, if you want to play a little game where you make the same food as us, good luck. It's going to be an experience.
I just need to do a Tom. Hi, kids.
Hi.
This stream on Monday will be 18 plus. Do not let small children watch it. I have been warned. It is not appropriate. There we go. Is that fair?
I think that's a fair warning. I think almost like we need to get up to the point where you're like, okay, so they're going to open that door. After that point, there's no coming back from this. So if you leave now, everything will be fine. It's been a bit ribald, a bit silly. As soon as that door opens, oh boy, we're in for another 40 minutes of... I'm interested to see how it edits, because it starts with M said something, which got us giggling, and then M was like, no, we won't do that. And then it just got worse.
Can't wait.
Yeah, no, it's...
So excited to watch.
And it's delightful, it's fun to see the return of Gertie and Pip. Poor Chris just doing their voice doing the Gertie. Yeah.
Chris, I love you, but that voice,
depressing fire. And yes, no, sort of. We try and work out how everything works in the timeline. Sort of like some time has passed.
Isn't the answer just normally it doesn't?
No, completely not. Sort of. Although that it's nice to find out that it's the funny thing, like watching like Mercandraw, where it's like, oh, Enoch's gone off, you know. I assume that is always the fact. Well, you'll know this, like when you're doing things like with a group, and you're like, we've had to have a conversation, but everyone okay? You know, it's just sort of like I think that was the thing, like with Ilix, that everyone else went off and did other stuff, and Ilix hasn't come back yet. And I know I've got a thing about Ilix now becoming a supervillain, but it's just the idea of like, yeah, we just left Ilix to his own thing, and he started making a death maze. He made like a weird escape room. He's not okay.
We have that with Seekers of Elturel, because Verasti was the first one to come back without any of the rest of the party. It was like, what is? And then Viorica went like in a battle with some mind flayers. Valka got trapped in the Astral Sea and then accidentally made a pact with Drusilda the Conservator. What has happened? I'm hoping 355 is kind of okay, because they're a very sensible person. But I'm assuming that Barda is like just in deep, deep, deep trouble of her own making somewhere. She is our Ilex. But...
yeah. Maybe with the two of them need to come together and it's like, hello, we got left behind.
Everyone would die.
Yeah.
Barda and Ilex together is a terrifying, terrifying prospect, and I love it. Death mazes galore.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you wanted to live, then you'd get out of the death maze. You know, hey,
sometimes you scare me just as a person.
Absolutely. I just, again, it's just not the change in voice, is it? It's just like, you're doing a character voice, I'm like, no, just go in the death maze.
I don't know what you mean. I just don't know why you don't get out of the death maze.
Yeah. You know, if you wanted to live, you know.
Just the way the stare becomes a little more fixed.
Yeah. Just stop blinking and just start doing the Kubrick, looking up at the camera like, hey.
Okay, what we're going to do is move on.
Absolutely. So I think in conclusion, I love all my children.
Oh my goodness, is that why we are?
Yeah, well, it's like, who's your favourite character?
No.
Yeah, it's nice with this sort of thing where it is that sort of like the feeling of being able to go, okay, this is like, for example, like Giacomo, I kind of felt, I've done Giacomo, I'm happy for Giacomo to basically be running like a circus of the damned now. But the skeleton man just turning up and is like, hey, do you want to... No death maces, though. No, just everything is fun and fine, and it's not his fault that his wife's a crocodile. You know, it's a strange time. Just... Hi, this episode's running like an hour over. Cool, Sean, can I have a wedding? Please. For me, as a treat. I've been ever so good.
Married so many times. I have proposed once and been proposed to once, but you so many.
Maybe the next thing I play and I'm just like, cool, maybe one of the PCs could be one of my spouses. Just come along.
We'll have to do it.
We'll just play as a family. Just one big family unit.
That would be super cute. I want to know, speaking of like engaged PCs and how you're not attracted to, that was a Freudian slip, how you're attached.
I am attractive, thank you, Rebecca.
I was going to say how you're attracted to your characters. I meant attached to your characters.
Oh, I give them little kisses.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Why do I do it on camera?
We wish you wouldn't, really. It's quite uncomfortable.
So uncomfortable for everyone. Yeah.
How did you find, because obviously with the Warriors of Waterdeep, we knew we had been specifically picked by Chris as people who would be okay with being railroaded a bit. I think actors who are used to being told what to do, we're pushovers. That I have no idea where this is going to go. You can do whatever you like, but by the end of this one shot, Cielaro has to be a vampire and Elcharn has to be a white, because that's what happens in the game. How did you find playing a predetermined story in that way?
I found it quite exciting. I like it. It's something I've always sort of liked the idea of, like doing a one shot that comes before the main campaign, and liking that idea of how does the world change around, well, things like was it drawing the spectacles on the statue? You know, yeah, just sort of. But then watching the other players going, so what? Why? And then I think maybe it was Em going, I think that was Tom. I was like, how dare you? How dare both of us? Yeah.
how dare my delightful shenanigans get attributed to you? It's not fair.
It's just not, again, patriarchy. The man is funny. The man does hijinks.
To be fair, one of us is here talking about all the chaos they create, and the other one of us is here staring at a timer. So I think...
Yeah, if we could just... I think
it was wrong, but it was a reasonable assumption to make.
I thought, as I said, I liked it. I liked it as a sort of... there was a certain amount of freedom. Like, the fact that we ran away from the Belleroth fight, where we were just like, no. And that was great that sort of like, I think Chris was like, oh yeah, there was going to be a big fight with like the Minotaurs and the vampires, and they were like, nope, we're scared. But yeah, I think that's fun. I think that's, and I think, as you said, like, as actors, being able to like play within the constraints, which is great, rather than, I don't think, well, speaking for both of us, I don't think if it was completely free, we would have struggled at all. But it was quite nice to just go, and then Chris just go, okay, end of that. We now move on. 3 days later, you're hiding under a blanket. Kind of.
Starting off was the hard bit for me, because Chris was like, right, explain the plot. I'm like, oh, we're just going to monologue. But you had your diary, so it works just fine. Love that diary.
Yes. Actually, did we ever say on stream why I wrote a diary? I know I said it on the disc. So, as we said, Cielaro's mother got sick. And if it was challenged, why are you writing everything down? Cielaro would have said, we lost my mother a long time before she died. And then she would. So, maybe there's something genetic in that. But also, of course, now it just gives a chance for the mind flayers to just mess with people and then just go, where the characters are like, yeah, why did this get out of the Underdark? You're like, oh, you don't think you need to know that. Just come and hang out. It's great. Do you want to meet some Minotaurs? There's some cool Minotaurs.
You make me sad, Tom.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I meant it as a compliment. But yes, it was a particular joy of being able to play in the past of... It could just be like, I write things down because there is a plot point 50 years in the future that I need to write in a diary, so I write a diary. But the fact that you turn that into, because my mother has an incredibly harrowing, effect on my childhood. Yeah. Great, thanks, Tom.
As I said, like, and I think both of us managed to do this, like, they're shallow and they're kind of awful, but they just, in that terrible situation, they do come together and they do kind of... There are like multiple times where each of us were like, you could just leave me. You could just go. And then me just going, oh no, you go find someone else. And you're like, no, I don't want anyone else. I want you.
Yeah. I remember particularly you consistently trying to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, stop it. Oh no, you need to say goodbye for your own, like, emotional well-being. Okay.
Fine. Have you said it now? Good. Now let's get out of here. Let's go find a priest of Shantae who's gonna reverse this. It's not like we're just gonna get murdered in a pit somewhere in 50 years' time. And our bodies are just gonna be dropped to the bottom of a lake. It's just Chris was like, yeah, you go to heaven. And you're like, I don't know if we deserve heaven, but I'm glad we get to.
Do we?
Do we though? Maybe Knickerbocker Glory's there. It's just the end of Les Mis, where it's just this dog like, come with me. You're like, yay!
The book club is there and they have forgotten you exist.
Yeah. Oh, you. Oh, we thought you ran away. Like, no, I got turned into a vampire. Or maybe that's the thing, because I know you can't resurrect the undead like that. Maybe it's just like, your soul doesn't really go anywhere.
It's fine.
It's fine. I mean,
it's fine. We handwave it.
It's fine. We've got a big sign on the wall that says everything is fine. And why would the sign?
It was so fine. It was the finest campaign that's ever been fine.
Why would the sign lie?
It's a mimic.
Just a little tongue up. Yeah. Like, hey.
So this is still deeply poppety. You are very excitingly DMing your first ever campaign rather than one shot on Roll Together. Tell us about it, and most importantly, on a scale of 0 to peak poppet.
Oh, I mean, it's relatively poppety. So it is called Crash and Burn, and There's 12 keys belonging to the Gatecrashers that are just out there now. It's actually quite funny now, like with Mercandraw, where, because I was planning this, and then Liz was like, by the way, there's 2 other Gatecrashers. And I was like, cool, just add those to the list. Do they have their keys? No, cool. Just enough to be able to sort of go, okay, they're off doing stuff. But yes, so it's the Hunk is back.
Yay!
Yep.
So where they have left Harmony, I would like to know.
That's a very good question. Because I think it was established that Harmony was going to go and sort some things out. Go on a bit.
Oh, I did offer to go and kill Heimlich's parents.
Yes. I mean,
lovingly, in the name of Mistru.
Yes, it's a loving murder. Yes, so I think Hunk will probably be waiting for you and then just get scooped up into adventure. Up for you to decide what Harmony's doing in that meantime.
Nothing dark or concerning at all.
Absolutely not.
Jokingly alluded to in future.
I'm honest. That the orphanage thing was such a me thing to do. I'm just gonna fill some time. Yeah, well, it wasn't my fault the orphans died. And you're just
I didn't say orphans, just children.
Oh, okay,
it's
fine.
Fine. I don't know why you'd make,
I thought you burned down an orphanage, but that's my ignorance. That's my stupid.
I mean, Harmony may have done. She just never she was never asked to specify.
No one asked any further questions.
No one did.
Yeah. So yes, so that's coming up. I won't spoil it. There's some returning characters. An NPC becomes a PC.
Exciting.
And I am one of my players is David, who is making a ridiculously Actually, most of the characters are ridiculously OP. So I'm finding.
I'm sorry, David Shears is making a ridiculously OP character.
I'm as shocked as you are.
I'm so confused by that. Having played with David before.
Where he worked out that if he had the perfect turn, he could do 248 points of damage in that one turn.
What are we allowed to know? What class he is playing?
I could find out. This is where I'm looking at my phone. Actually, no. I'm going to say rather than.
Can you tell us what level they are?
They are level 11.
Ooh, so pretty tanky. Okay.
Pretty tanky. I think maybe I'm too nice, but they're like, can we have items? I'm like, sure you can. And people are like, cool. Belt of Giant Strength. I was like, fine, you got level 25. I have started working as soon as in the session 0. I was like, cool. What can't you do? And they're like, we can't do this. I'm like, interesting. Carry on. Hey, you want to beat things up? By all means. My constant threat is to drop them in a hole. Is to do an ed and just.
Pit traps are apparently impossible.
Yeah, just to drop
as impossible as doors. So yeah.
It's the two great fears, doors and pit traps. Just. Or I'll just, I don't know. It's universal. I'll just boost them off to the plane of fire and just go, right, you live there now. Just
Seems fun.
Yeah, so I'm very excited with that. Yes, as I said, the scale of poppetry, they're the Gatecrashers did have assistants, and some of these players have worked with Gatecrashers before. Some of them would like to. Kind of what happens when, this powerful being says, you wait right here, I'll be back, and then never comes back. That might be of concern. On the scale of Poppet. Yeah, so I'm very excited. I'm also, completely honest, I know where I'm starting, and I've got an idea where I'm ending, but I'm preparing just to go, oh, okay, fine, you've killed that character. Okay, do you want to meet Vecna? Can I do Vecna?
This does seem the terrifying side of DMing, that you know where you're going, but you cannot make your characters go there.
Absolutely not, no. Yeah. My kind of hope is with, the Gatecrashers, because there's a lot of, portaling across the multiverse, it's just to go, there is a portal, you need to go.
Yeah, everything else is sort of grey and washed out, and this thing is glowing like purple energy. Where do you want to explore? The grey town or the purple door? We have established that there is 2 Tarasques now in the universe. I will just have him
Just like in a video game where like you spent too long in this room. This guy is now here and he's coming towards you. Move through the portal. We need to go to the Fae. Come on. Yeah. So
go for it.
No, I was just going to say I'm excited. Yeah.
I have so much awe. I was going to say respect, but awe for DMs who you can just be like, I opened this door and they have something.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I am gently exploring what it might be like to DM. I have not DM'd, but starting to code.
Oh, we're going to make you do it. Like how we're going to bully Nat and, Nat.
There may be the bullying currently in process for one shot. Maybe.
Yay.
Maybe. I'm still resisting quite hard, but,
Oh, God, like, you saw my one shot. It's silly fun. Unless you just want to make something incredibly tragic.
I mean, I thought what I could do is just ask everyone to play one of your characters and then I could murder them really gruesomely when full of pathos.
Yeah, no, just, again, back to Busy Bees. It's like, by the way, all your friends are dead. I knew that already, but you made a helmet out of nutmeg. Although Nat would point out that didn't happen. But where did the skull come from, Nat? Where did the skull come from?
These are the questions. How long is Crash and Burn?
It's a 4-parter.
4-parter. So you're just going to explore the whole multiverse and all the realms of time and space in
Absolutely.
4 episodes.
And it is actually quite fun where, I've been given that bigger canvas and then also sort of like going, we've just done the Astral Sea. Okay, I won't do the Astral Sea. I had, as I said, like I thought about the Feywild, and I was like, well, we've just done something in the Feywild. How about if I just move this thing? It's like spinning the wheel of the multiverse, and like, where else could we go? Yes, there's actually some places that we haven't gone yet, where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm interested to see what, we haven't gone to that. It's also, I'm going to be very interested in if I'm having to in character explain how the universe works, because it is based on the alignment chart. Each world is like, this is the chaotic good world, this is the lawful world. That's how the 12 things work down. And just the idea of just going, hey, how we're all aligned to stuff? No, you don't know that. Well, welcome to Mechanus. It's the lawful world. Yeah.
What is the chaotic evil world going to be like?
Oh, it is just a plane of darkness. It's just, I mean, I'm trying to remember what the second one, like, the Fays are separate, sort of like part of the ring. I'm trying to remember what the second one is, but which is nice. I just because I always thought like the Fae was like, oh, it's just the world between worlds. I'm like, no, it's a separate plane. It just, of course, then we get into demi-planes and everything where you just sort of like, I was actually, the Neverwinter, I was playing that with a friend, and he was like, it's nice they made a demi-plane for us to train on. I was like, yeah, that is nice of them. Just, again, I had this sort of just the idea of just like, I'm prepared because obviously the players know so much. We're just going, how does this work? I'm like, demi-plane.
Just demi-plane.
Demi-plane. It's just, you're inside a book. Like, what? Book. In a book. Big book. Like, cool. Did you run off notes? Yeah.
I mean, is it that is now a pocket dimension that just solves all of our time problems in the multiverse?
Yes. So, I mean, if we're talking about like lich pins of like Granny seems, and also now we've established Busy Bees, that's destroyed and scattered across the multiverse.
Yes.
We were talking about the fact that every universe will end with Clint getting a gun and then eventually causing the end of the world. So,
yeah, of course, it's Clint.
Yeah, just on every plane, including our own plane, somewhere a little beaver's just got a gun and a tin of bins, and it's like, yeah.
I thought when I turned up for Busy Bees 2, I was like, cool, I've got quite a, light-hearted, silly character. I'm ready. I know that Busy Bees is, a bit daft and chaotic. Cool, I'm ready. I will put aside my, preference for long-form narrative and pathos and sarcasm. We'll go for, and then I was not prepared for the incredibly high bar of chaos.
That's, I'm not sure where you got this, but we were like, what happened to Majesty? And we think that the Tarrasque appeared and Majesty just went, nope, no thank you. And I don't think Majesty died. I think Majesty's just like, no more of that.
He is a male character I created, so therefore quite a douchebag. So it would have just been like, bye. I mean,
peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Here's a tail feather for good luck.
Just-
Actually, no, I might need it. And then
yeah. I could use that for spells. It's a very bizarre form of feather fall. Just peacock feather. Yeah. So yeah, that should be coming out in time.
Is it the Tuesday slot after Mercandraw finishes?
I believe so. Yeah.
So that will be not this coming Tuesday, but the Tuesday after, I believe. Unless we might have a one-shot in between. I'm not quite sure, but
I understand. People getting busy stuff. I'm quite liking like the run of one-shots. It's quite fun to like change it up and be able to come in and just go, okay, what's happening now? What's Bake Off? Yes, and then maybe other people will run a game, and that would be fun. Well, eventually everyone's gonna. I think because we have the opposite problem that a lot of people have, where you get the forever DMs. That's never been an issue on this channel. That just the DMs are just like, I'm also gonna play in this. It's a nice switcheroo.
And we're really lucky that, the people who've been around forever and, founded the channel, we have Chris and Emma, don't go, well, it's my channel. I must DM all the time. They are very brilliant at going, no one wants me to DM consistently.
I think
Someone else have a go. It's great.
I think they're both tired. And that's nice just to go, you know what? Niall, just go off. Okay, you're off in the desert. That's great.
I mean, I was also going to say incredibly generous with, sharing the spotlight, but also maybe they're just tired.
It just
there is no praise you can give them. It's entirely selfish.
Life carries on apace and drags us with it. Just I was like, rather than
okay.
No.
Is your sad cloud leaching into your
yes, yeah. And just the Beckett part of me, like, life.
Beckett hurts my soul. Pinter I can manage. Beckett is just one step too.
Yeah, there's no
boringly sad.
There's no joy.
Not that Beckett is boring, but the lives that he portrays are so boring.
Yeah, even when you're just buried to your neck in sand, it's just like, oh, here we are now.
Have you done? I feel like you would do a spectacular Waiting for Godot.
I did it when I was in school. Just
amazing.
Who
are you?
Who was I? Was I Ostergon? We didn't sort of do it as a big thing, but sort of like and then we had someone else who tried to do Lucky. When Lucky does that long speech.
Yeah.
They just were like, I can't learn this. You're like, no, because it is intent is like 3 pages of just babble. Yeah. Hello, welcome to Theatre Talk. We just want to change. It's like, hello, let's talk about our favourite Shakespeare's.
Okay.
Yeah, go on. What's your favourite?
Favourite to just go and enjoy, much ado about nothing.
I was just
Favourite to have academic thoughts about Taming of the Shrew.
Fair, very fair.
I did my master's thesis on Taming of the Shrew, which, because it was at drama school, included a performance element, which fulfilled all. Did I pick my entire master's topic so I could play Catherine? Maybe, but it made me very happy.
Absolutely. And Much Ado is great fun, and then just gets incredibly sad. And then just having that moment, just like, oh, I'll do anything for you. Cool, kill Claudio. And you're like, oh, right.
That influenced my entire, the bit of academia I did, my entire, academic view of Shakespeare was that he knows that men are garbage.
Yeah.
Claudio, the romantic hero, is garbage.
I saw someone, which I think, because Benedict does so much time saying, oh, he's so handsome. He's so, I'd like Claudio just to be this thuggish guy, and Benedict's kind of making fun of him. And then, Claudio's like, well, you should just die then. You're like, oh, God. And Benedict's like, oh, no. Oh, what's happening? I thought we were having fun, hiding in the topiaries and, having it's like...
No, you are just an incel. Oh, no.
Yeah, literally.
I played in year 11, so as a 15-year-old, I played Don John. It was my first Shakespeare that I acted in, and opened the floodgates. Yeah. And I started the play, be like, right, I am the bad guy, and got to the end of it, I think I'm kind of fine.
Yeah, where everyone else is awful.
I'm honest that I hate everyone.
Well, when you're into it, and you're like, here he is, he's awful, and he's like, what have I done? Yeah, if you want me to be a villain, I'll be a villain. But
Yeah, but also you could just stop being awful.
I mean, all of you, just stop. Again, stop on now. It's like there should have been a time when we could have said stop, and all of this would have been done. But that time is now past.
Which feels like a very apposite quote for this talk together, because we haven't talked about D&D in quite some time.
No.
Hey, well, we're having a lovely time.
We are.
And I am keeping an eye. And so, hey, Tom, I'm going to wrap up now.
Oh, no. So I'm going to start reading my book.
I'd like to plug, Tom.
Let's see. So I think on Tuesday, I am on a episode. I'm doing a one shot with Queen's Court Games.
Amazing.
So with Scarlett and V and Chrissy and Josh is DMing. It's called Disaster Team.
Amazing.
It came from, there is a thing on TikTok where it was like, oh, we'll filter, we'll give you a D&D character. The four of us did that.
I saw you tweet about that. It looked amazing.
It's great fun. I am a very bad monk with very bad decks.
Amazing.
I'm called Noon. Chrissy would call me New One Wants You Here, but we're playing twins. It's like if you're thinking of Critical Role with Vax and Vex, but we're just terrible. And stuff happens. It's it's I get bullied. I can't. There's not a stream team I'm on where I don't get gently bullied.
At some point, you need to look at yourself and wonder why that might.
Yes, it's that Simpsons thing. It's like, are the kid? Am I wrong? No, it's the kids who are wrong.
That is Queen Court. I'm keeping going, Tom. You asked for this. That's Queen's Court Games on Tuesday. What time?
That will be 9 o'clock. So that
Fantastic.
I think.
Oh, so you can tune over straight from the finale of Mercandraw.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes, and you'll be able to see Tom on Monday in Crash and Burn and DMing our Gate Crashers campaign very shortly. Yeah. Sorry, Tom, I wasn't lying when I said I'm just going to cut you off.
Oh, I will destroy you. Like, okay.
So that is categorically all we have time for. Thank you, everyone. If anyone is there watching whatever this was, but thank you for joining us and being part of this. If you enjoyed this, and even if you didn't, which is frankly a good thing, we stream Talk Together every Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. GMT, and we stream D&D games on Mondays and Tuesdays. On Mondays 6 to 9 GMT, it will be this the Great Feywild Bake Off, and tune in for something very wholesome, pure and clean. And then on Tuesday, it is the finale of The Last Resort at Mercandraw Bog, Liz's spectacularly weird and wonderful Feywild campaign. That is again 6 to 9 p.m. GMT. All our shows stream at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg. There is a YouTube link in chat. And don't forget, you can enjoy as a podcast. Do check out our wiki, our Discord, and thanks again to our fantastic D20 Club on Patreon. All of our sponsors and supporters.
All of them. Every single one of them.
Stay classy at the table.
Please.